So since this is a wrap-up, I'm going to summarize a lot of things. I'm going to give you an overview of a lot of things that probably you have heard the last 2 days. If not, you have the answer here. The first thing I want to say is that a lot of things that I have been hearing over and over again, they are already there or we are building it. It's not like a lot of things like, we should do this, there's nothing. There are a lot of things, and I hope that I'm going to give you a little bit overview of what is out there. If you haven't talked to me, I'm Araceli Venegas-Gómez. In 2019, I created a company that is called Qureca, Quantum Resources and Careers, with the aim to create the language, quantum, for everyone, accessible, honest, reliable, that everyone should understand why should we care, the big question, why, and what do we need to do. What we offer, we have education, we have training, recruitment, and professional services, kind of filling the gaps that people were saying, we need this. Okay. We provide the solution, or we can tell you who provides the solution. So let's talk about talent and education, but first, the ecosystem. The ecosystem of any emerging technology. How does it work? You have the scientists, the academia, then that science is going to be developed into a new market, but you also have the people in industry that is like, oh, something is coming, I should understand this. You have the government, the VCs, people with the money. They should understand why they should have to put the money in that science, why is that important. And then you have the general public or newcomers that they hear about quantum and they're like, why should I care about this? And so far you can tell me, well, this is the same for any technology, right? AI, for example. This is happening for any emerging technology. But when we talk about quantum technologies, it's quantum. It's quantum mechanics. It's that word quantum that gives always two reactions. One, that's too hard. I have no idea about quantum mechanics. I shouldn't care. Or that sounds so cool. And I heard something about a black hole or something that has nothing to do with quantum technologies. That's why it's really important that we understand that we don't need to really go into quantum mechanics to understand quantum technologies, and we have seen this in the last 2 days. But the truth is that quantum technologies is coming, and we already have quantum technology there. We have lasers, we have magnetic resonance imaging, and we have a lot of different technology that is based on quantum mechanics. It's not like we are, reinventing the wheel. And if you remember from the first talks yesterday, the difference is that instead of having a lot of photons, a lot of electrons, a lot of particles, now we can take one and design what to do with that. We can control matter at the scale of one particle, one atom, one photon, and with that create amazing technology. That's the difference. So if someone is asking you, why should I care about that? It's that kind of technological revolution based on that design, that control of matter. Another important thing, as you probably have heard several times, is not just quantum computing. Everybody talks about quantum computing, but there is quantum communication, sensing, imaging, simulation. It's a range of different technologies. It's a big difference with AI, because AI is almost software, right? That's AI. But here we are talking about hardware, software, sensing. The skills and competencies that you need for this are completely different than AI. Some kind of interconnect with each other, but it's really much richer than AI in that case. Carlos showed this already, and important, again, is global. Everybody around the world is putting money into this. This is just global funding. We are going to launch the update of this by the end of the year. We always try to see what's going on. It's always growing. And another important thing is the gray areas. And we have heard from Victoria, for example, that they are trying to see what's happening in those gray regions in the world. That's another gap that is in the ecosystem. There is fundamental science that is done in Latin America, but there's no public funding. So how can we attract that talent as well? So more overviews. This is the amount in percentage of quantum companies per continent, per regions. The good news, they are everywhere. It's not just China and US. We have quantum companies everywhere. So there is a clear opportunity, and people are speaking out for universities, and they are saying that there is an opportunity. Now let's have a look at the different countries. Of course, you have a lot of startups in the US. We are talking here about only quantum startups and companies focusing on quantum technologies. But there are a lot of countries that you probably imagine, like never imagine that there is a quantum startup in those countries. again, a clear opportunity. Also, there is talent in other countries that if these companies grow, they probably go to those startups. So not only China and US will attract that talent, so be careful about that. And of course, the workforce is a big topic. When the company started, and I was talking about education or workforce, it's too early, it's too early. Now it's everywhere, as you probably have heard over and over again. There is a talent shortage. It's really, really hard to find the talent. But we know that this is coming in the next 20 years. I'm going to say 20 years. We need to be ready for that. And we need to be ready means that we need to change before the actual technology is here. We know already what is going to come sooner or later, so let's try to move with that change. Let's try to get ready in terms of strategy for companies, in terms of education in universities. Let's just make a plan. This is the job market for quantum technologies. It's going to be exponential, but in 10, 20 years, in the long term. But we have seen already that there are a lot of companies around the world. And all these companies at one point are going to be hiring. Where are they going to find the talent? Do you think that there are more and more PhDs that are coming out of universities every year with the intention to go into industry? And the other thing, again, in the long term, what do you need for the workforce of the future? Well, you need to train now the workforce of the future. Where are these people now? They are in the school. They are in high school or, let's say, undergrad, kindergarten, something. But really, the only way is to make the mindset that it's not only the workforce now, but also the workforce of the future. So there are different layers of education, and I'm going to show you that. But implement something that is an academic new discipline, that is what we are talking about here, that is a quantum engineer. This takes a lot of time. I don't know how long it took to actually have computer science as a new discipline. We cannot do this in 4 or 5 years, but we know that we have to do it. And let's have a look at the different levels of education. This is taken from US, but it's pretty much the same in each country. You have kind of the same system. I'm putting away kindergarten. There are already quantum computing for babies books, but they are not really useful. At least my baby doesn't understand them. But the important thing when we think about education at the level of primary schools and even high school is not going to the children with a book about quantum computing. It's about teaching the teacher. If the teacher doesn't know about quantum, how could the child understand that? So it's a lot about outreach. It's a lot public engagement, having activities, engage with universities and public engagement activities in malls, with families. But it's about it's opportunities for teachers to bring these concepts. And we are working in some opportunities there. We are working globally. And we are trying to bring at each of these educational system, educational levels, we have solutions. We as a community, not me as myself, but there are opportunities out there. So if you want to get involved in any of these, let me know, because there are already opportunities that we are trying to pursue. Then if you go to university, yeah, it's about, of course, people in physics. It's kind of the big bunch of what we need right now. But what about engineers, computer scientists, mathematicians, biologists, chemists? We need to retrain that people. Those people need to be aware that they could have a career in quantum technologies. But how are they going to be aware if their professors are not aware that there is opportunity for them in quantum? So again, it's a lot about creating multidisciplinary options within universities, and maybe understanding in Georgia Tech who is on what in engineering or in quantum, and trying to work together. And then master's programs. There are a lot of different masters I'm going to show you now around the world. There are different masters that are coming up every year. The question is, are these actually the masters that the industry needs right now? And the answer is no. I'm telling you, we do recruitment, and there are more people that come out of these masters and say, I have a master in quantum technologies. Where's my job? I say, sorry, you are not an expert in what industry needs right now. Not everything, but a big bunch of what is happening. So we are moving at different, let's say, rhythms to create all these. And this is the quantum masters overview right now worldwide. And it's changing. Some of the masters, they go into maybe more photonics and less quantums, and others go more into theory. And a lot of people are coming to us and asking for support and advice, do you think that this is actually what the industry needs? And I'm going to give you, no, time's up. I'm going to give you an example of a university. They came to us, this is our proposal. Do you think that that's what the industry needs? And it wasn't. Really, nobody with that master is going to have a job in quantum right now. They should go then to a PhD, but then you go again to the loop. We need to wait 3 to 6 years until they finish the PhD. So it's a lot about collaboration between academia and industry, what we need. And there are, of course, different opportunities and societies and different things that are happening right now in the ecosystem for that. And of course, and this is what I added because a lot of people is, what about the workforce of now? What if those people who are working in companies, they want to work in quantum? What are the solutions? There are different solutions out there. We are building solutions. Upskilling and reskilling is a big thing that we need to do. It's about retraining people that are coming from classical software into quantum software. There is a European project that we are going to launch in January to create that at European level, but we are working also with Canada, US, and other countries to try to bring the same gaps in other countries. So there are different ideas right now and developments, but they are just starting. We are really early. And a lot of people are coming and say, how can I start with quantum? I've been in YouTube, very nice videos, but I don't understand anything. Here, we wrote a paper. We tried to gather all the different resources in quantum right now. You can start with games. If you like video games, you can start just playing with lasers. But you can go to events like this one to understand really what the community is all about. So there are really resources at each level, depending on your technical level, how long you want to go into that, or how you want to implement this for your business sector. So there are resources. We are building more resources. But again, there is still a lot of things to do because we are early in this journey. Thank you very much.